Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band talk. As always, my name is Diane.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Chinzia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Now we're gonna jump right in today because this is the episode that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. We're gonna talk about
Lydia.
Lou Pearlman.
Okay, thank you. Finally.
Her
really?
face has lit up.
Probably you won't hear from Sophia and I too much because we're just gonna throw this to the DeFranco sisters.
Oh boy,
they love him.
They appreciate him.
We love and hate.
He
Lou
is
is
a
a
love-hate
very
relationship,
polarizing person. Obviously, we appreciate all he did, bringing together the world's greatest boy bands and all that stuff. We do not appreciate his stealing the money and
Ponzi
possibly
schemes.
molesting people. Or
Okay,
whatever he
so
did,
for people who don't know, because maybe, you know, if you're a fan of the newer boy bands,
Yeah, you're not gonna know about
You might
Lou.
not know who we're even talking about. So who is Lou Pearlman, ladies?
Louis J. Pearlman was an American record producer and fraudster. He was the manager of successful
Fraudster, does it really say
It
that?
is.
Oh my god,
Is this
stop.
It's true, yes. He was the manager of successful 90s boy bands such as Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. In 2006, he was accused of running one of the largest and longest-running Ponzi schemes in American history, leaving more than $300 million in debt. After being apprehended, he pleaded guilty to conspiracy, money laundering, making false statements during a bankruptcy proceeding. In 2008, Pearlman was convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison. He has died in federal custody in 2016.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Lou.
Chinzia almost crashed the car when she found out.
We were coming back from an Airlines concert, and Diane's like, "Oh, what's happening in the world?" And she's like, "Oh, Lou Pearlman's dead." And I'm like, "What?"
And that was the same time that I sent the link to
I'm like,
apparently.
"What are you
yes.
talking about?" And then we pulled into the A&W, and I had to call my friend and be like, "Lou Pearlman's dead," and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yes." So
Yeah, we almost died. I was like, Chinzia, focus on driving,
I was
please.
just like, "What?" And the thing is, I was like, "Man, I really want to write a letter to Lou and find out more about Lou's brain." But
I was gonna write a letter to Lou too, and I know what prison he was in, but I was like, is this weird?
See, I didn't know what prison he was in, and then I was just like, "Ah."
He was in Miami, Florida. Here, hold on, I will tell you. Hold up.
So, anyways,
Good thing you
quick
guys didn't write a
background
letter.
about Lou. He is an only child.
Yes.
His claim to fame was that he is related to Art
Garfunkel.
one of them.
I did not know that.
That was his.
They were
that was his
cousins, right?
in.
Cousins?
Yes, he
Yes.
was cousins, distant cousins. But he
Yes.
kept saying how close they were, and that's how he was able to get music industry ties. He was obsessed with aviation and blimps.
Blimps. Yes.
He would go and watch that, and he
Sorry.
made a blimp company and then crashed the plane, and it died.
Yes, he did.
And the thing about Lou is that he was very big thinker, and his lies were so big and elaborate that people had no idea that he was lying. Because
was very convincing,
who would
too.
make up the fact that they have this airline? And I remember questioning it when I was in high school because I was like, "Oh, I want to take a transcontinental airline flight. I wonder how." And this was the early ages of the internet, and I couldn't find any information about how to book it and stuff. And I thought that it was weird. Fun fact: the picture on his brochure was a toy airplane that he just had in there.
Oh my god.
This man is like the
dear.
sketchiest man on the planet.
He's so brilliant, but so evil and diabolical at the
So-
same time.
Like a movie villain.
He really is. Two really great shows to watch. There's one, it's called American Greed, and it was about Lou and his life and all that jazz. And another really good interview you want to listen to is the Rich Cronin Howard Stern interview.
my
Okay,
God,
so I
yes.
knew you guys were going to want to talk
Yes.
about this.
Please.
So
Amazing.
give people some background about the interview and what was said and
It
all
was
that kind of stuff.
This is probably the most epic interview you will ever hear.
very
Rest in
in-depth.
peace, Rich Cronin.
Yes.
From
That's the best
LFO,
one.
if you don't know.
Yeah, LFO.
So-
He died of cancer.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah, so very sad. I mean, he was a lovely guy. He was a blonde guy, I think, of LFO.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes,
that was
yes.
the new kids on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. That's that they sing
Yes.
that. Okay.
So,
Go ahead, Jen.
I don't even know where to start here. Okay, so anyways, Lou saw the success of New Kids on the Block, and New Kids was already on their way down, and he's like, I need to figure out how to recreate this and make money. So Lou lived down in Florida, and then he ended up just putting together, doing auditions, and that's how he got the Backstreet Boys together.
He rented out a warehouse, and I think
He had an ad in the paper.
Yeah. He had the his one guy that helped him Johnny Wright, I believe.
Yeah, Johnny
Johnny
Wright,
Wright,
yeah.
who is also
I want to circle back to Johnny Wright.
yes,
but
I have
yeah.
questions about him.
Okay.
Yes. I agree.
Yes. So essentially, he made a really successful boy band, Backstreet Boys. Then he made NSYNC, fabricated them as a rival, had them going up
Yep.
against each other. Knew the teen girls would go friggin' nuts over
Brilliant.
this, and then just kind of like fought them back and forth to make album sales and make the other people like it.
Yeah.
Genius
It was
man.
pretty bad, yeah.
But he also did Making the Band, and he got O-Town together.
Yes.
And then he also had LFO, and there was a couple of other ones that were, as they were getting lower down, then
I can tell you what
Take
they are.
5 was one of them.
We have Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, O-Town, LFO, Take 5, Natural, US5, Jordan Knight. Oh, really? Aaron
interesting.
Carter. Really?
Yeah.
Smiles and South Star. C-Note, Innocence, and Olive Carpet.
So as you can see, after O-Town, it just kind of goes downhill from there. So you can only... and then he has this really terrible movie that I made the girls watch called Long Shot, in which he put all of his bands in there as well, and it just...
Yeah,
Brilliant
it's not
businessman. Brilliant. Absolutely
Horrible
brilliant.
man, but
Horrible
brilliant.
person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the interview.
Okay,
Yes.
so Rich Cronin goes on the Howard Stern, and he just kind of tells him about what life was like with Lou, like when he...
And like Howard Stern is you can be very candid on Howard Stern. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like, like prim and proper, like I'm here to do
So you
like
kind
nothing.
of wonder if maybe Rich was kind of elaborating a little bit.
Well,
No.
okay, I was
No.
going to say, so
I don't think
before
so.
you can provide details of what he said if you'd like, but do you feel that sometimes I feel that with Howard Stern, some things are elaborated
Or exaggerated a bit.
the entertainment value. So
Right.
you have to take what Rich said probably with a grain of salt, because some of it could be...
And it's true. I agree, because some of it I'm like, this is a little too much, but he did dial it back, and sometimes when Howard would push a little too much, he'd be like, no, it didn't happen like that or whatever.
Yeah.
I
But-
respectfully disagree. I think what he says in the interview, like a man's man wouldn't have said that because it would have put you at
Do
a...
you want to share what he said for people who haven't heard this?
Yes. Okay, sorry, yes, sorry.
One of our favorite lines that they
God.
described Lou is when he went to go audition for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lou was sitting on his couch in his underwear, and he looked like he was wearing a gorilla suit. Because he was so hairy and gross.
Yes.
And then Lou was a very large man, and apparently in some of the other interviews we saw, he would like keep young boys around with him at all times to be his drivers, and then he would promise them that they'd get to be in his boy bands.
And then if they did favors for him, they would do well in the industry.
That's not fact, though, is it?
How can you prove that as a fact? Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. But if multiple sources are saying it, it seems like it might
there's a
be
few
true.
rumors
There's
going
this
around.
one part in the interview, and I'm like, there's no way this is real, in which the LFO was trying to break it in Europe.
Yes.
And-
tell them this part.
He says that, there's this guy in Europe, and he's such a horrible guy, and I don't know what to do, but he's going to make you want to, and then fellatio, if you will.
Yes.
And then Lou offered to let them practice on him and stuff. So like,
I'll teach you how he likes it. Don't worry.
it's
this guy,
disgusting.
he's
I can't
so
believe he
awful.
wants this. Blah, blah. And we're
But,
like, there's no way this guy is real. And then we Googled this man, and he is an actual guy.
He was actually
No
So
idea if he actually requests this thing from
This could have been Lou's, thing.
weird.
Just to,
Yeah, so I don't know. There's just a lot of like sketchiness.
God.
So the main sketchy thing is that he made himself the 6th member of the Backstreet Boys.
That was the big,
Yes.
So
yeah.
he made himself the 6th member, so he got 1/6 of their stuff. He was also their manager, so he got stuff from that. He also took possession of their songs, or was that LFO? I think
I think that was LFO.
maybe LFO.
he did it for LFO. He sold their songs out from under them, got a
Yeah.
publishing deal, and like sold it for like I can't remember how much, but they could have got like 10 times the amount, and Rich never saw any of the money from that. Like he was just a very
pretty bad.
sketchy man.
He screwed over a
Super
lot
greedy.
of people. He
Then
did.
he would just start. The Ponzi scheme started with all these pensioners that he was taking money from.
God, yes.
And then he would like, oh no, I have all these successful boy bands. So then he would take it from one person. And when one person's like, oh, I want my money back, he would give them some money and then take it from somebody else. So he ended up millions of dollars that he stole from people.
Yeah.
And he was, my favorite, can I talk about how he was found?
Yes,
Or is that
please.
another
Yeah. So he had evaded the
go
FBI, and
So
and
he
was
took off to,
and they were looking to capture him.
yes, was it Thailand?
Yes.
Yeah, Thailand.
So he was in Thailand, And the FBI were also on the lookout for him. And everybody in the boy band world knew who Lou Pearlman was.
Everyone knows Lou.
Yeah.
So they were at the same resort, and he actually checked in under the name Incognito Johnson. Was the name that he was signed in under.
Oh, man.
And there was a German tourist there, and he saw Lou at this resort, and he knew people. So he took a picture and sent it to the FBI. And in the picture, the 2 FBI agents that were supposed to be finding Lou were in the picture, facing somewhere else. So they didn't know that he was in that.
Oh
like
my
it
God,
was, it was
that's
like
hilarious.
it's
How
like
do
the
you
most
miss Lou? He's like 400 pounds.
crazy. So anyways, he got arrested there.
And he was accompanied by a young boy there too. They found him with a young boy.
That
as well.
was a fact, right?
Yeah,
They
I
did
did
find
realize
him
that.
with,
Yes.
So shocking. Not
so
really.
the thing is, so that's why he was in prison, was for the Ponzi scheme, not for all the boy band stuff.
He should have been in prison for that though. Like he screwed over a lot of people.
They made some
There
sort
were
of
lawsuits
deal.
against him.
so
though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
Backstreet
true.
Boys
I just
filed
think
lawsuits.
Yeah.
once they caught him, it was like, well, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
This is the main thing that we can
Yeah.
make stick.
Yeah, like the No Strings Attached. That album was specifically made as a FU to Lou because they cut their ties with him.
In sync.
Yes, NSYNC did. Yes.
So pretty much he was supposed to be in jail for 25 years, and he also owed millions of dollars. And if he could repay $1 million, he would get a year. For every million that he paid off, he would get a
year off the sentence.
So he's like, well, I need to be able to make some money while I'm in jail. And they're like, no, that's not how this works. And he's like, no, I can put together a boy band.
Oh my God.
In jail, Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock, yes,
is
I
what
remember.
he wanted to do, and that did not happen.
They
But
wouldn't let
I
him
think
do
that
it.
would have been amazing.
It would have been
That's
brilliant.
hilarious.
And during the Backstreet Boys documentary, they wanted to go confront Lou and go to the jail, but the warden wouldn't let them. So.
That's such a shame.
'Cause
Like
that
what a
would've
missed
been
opportunity.
Amazing to see how
That would
they
have been.
confronted
I
him.
feel like that would have been.
Interesting
I don't
way
know
to
if all of
see-
the
It would have
boys
been
would've
healing
went.
for the Backstreet Boys. To be honest with
Nick
you,
wouldn't
I
have gone.
feel like
Some of
Brian
them
wouldn't have
would've.
went either, or Brian would
They
have
should've,
punched
though.
him in the face.
Well,
'Cause
yeah.
Brian is very much.
I know.
On one
know.
of the cruises,
Doesn't like him. Very
yes,
can't remember. I think it was the one we were on, Lydia.
yeah,
When someone's like, "What was? Do you have a favorite memory of Lou?" And
yeah.
then-
Someone asked that. Yes,
And then Howie's like, his house was amazing.
Yes.
It was so great, blah, blah, blah. And he had all this stuff. And then one of the girls in the audience were like, you paid for it. And then the boys were dying. They're like, yeah, they did. So
yeah, it's true.
So he had all like the cool like toys and gadgets and movies.
He had
and
everything to
according
lure young
Howie, they
boys
also
into his
showed
house.
porn to them and things like that.
They talk about him a bit in the Backstreet Boys documentary.
So
Yeah.
it's
Because I mean, like,
interesting.
if he used it, like I just wish he used his talents for more good. Because like he had such an eye for pairing people together that like he could have. You didn't even have to have that evil underlying aspect. You know what I mean?
The greed
Lou,
takes over. Don't
Lou,
be greedy.
you didn't have to do that, buddy.
So building on this,
Yes.
I mean, it's clear that he's not a good guy.
No.
So why are you guys obsessed with it? Is it like a morbid obsession? Is it like, you know how people are obsessed with serial killers?
That's what I was going to say. Yes, exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. It's like you're so fascinated by this person that
how
like
can someone morally do this stuff and like just think nothing of it? Like, I don't know.
he's an enigma. He's so interesting because if you take away all the bad stuff he did a lot of great stuff. He did a lot of good stuff. But you can't ignore the bad stuff he did because he screwed a lot of people.
And this is only the tip of the iceberg because we don't even know all the bad
That's the
stuff
thing.
that he did.
That's the thing. And
we don't know who he screwed over. We don't know.
He liquidated
what-
lots of assets. I'm sure like
Shady
there's
businessman.
money hiding underneath dirt somewhere in Florida. I swear. I feel like that's something
he had a
did.
call center for his business and it wasn't real. Like there was like just like there's so many sketchy
So what
things.
you're saying is we should go on a treasure hunt in Florida.
Yes,
And we need
clearly.
to take Nick Carter with us.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come. Yeah. No, I don't know. He's just like
It's like
he's
Voldemort.
a horrible man.
It's like you're like, whoa, like Voldemort. He okay. If you think Voldemort, he casts amazing spells. He wrote stuff in like, or no, was that Snape? Was that Professor Snape? Was he the Half-Blood Prince?
Yeah.
Shoot! Oh no. Anyways, Voldemort was brilliant because he knew a lot of spells and he did a lot of research about stuff.
And
but
he
also,
killed people.
but he was super evil too.
Lou
I was
never
gonna say.
killed anyone that we know
That
of.
we know of.
Okay, so like it just yeah, it's like when you like a serial killer. You don't like them for what they did, but you like them for like their brilliance, their weirdo brilliance.
Like honestly, without him, we would not have Backstreet Boys in sync in
Yes.
O-Town.
yes.
But even
And the
when,
formula,
when he
the
passed
Backstreet Boy
away,
formula.
even the tweets that people were sending out, it was just very mixed bag. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of "you deserve this, die,
I
burn in
believe
hell."
I just tweeted out the NSYNC "Bye Bye Bye" video.
Yes.
Gee.
But I feel like Lance Bass was the first boy bander to
AJ
address
and
him.
Howie tweeted it out.
A bunch of O-Town, the guys in O-Town did come out and just say, like, RIP, condolences, la la la.
But didn't one of them be like, "Screw you, Lou," or something like that?
I don't remember.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
so.
It's just it's a really weird, like,
touchy
yes.
subject.
So circling back to Johnny Wright.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Does he
I
play a
don't
part
know.
in all this?
Yes,
or is
of
he
course
just,
he does.
I feel like he's also a shady member.
Yeah, he's like
And, like,
guilty
now
by association.
He's
now
in within real life.
managing in real life.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like,
What?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly, I feel I don't want to say like he's obviously not the same as Lou. I don't know if he was stealing money or whatnot, but
But he had to have
but
known some
he
of
had
the
to have
stuff that
known.
he was doing.
Of course.
Now, Johnny, was he also with Backstreet? Because he was with NSYNC.
Yeah.
and he was with New Kids,
And he was with New Kids. So
Yes.
Johnny was the one that I
Oh.
think kind of...
So do we feel that Johnny has a thing for young boys?
I don't
Isn't he
think
married?
so.
Is he not married?
Well, that doesn't
That
mean
doesn't
anything.
mean anything.
That doesn't
No,
mean anything.
that's true.
But you know
I feel
what?
like I was reading one of the... Was it AJ's biography where his mom talks about Johnny Wright for a bit?
Does
yeah, she talks
And
about
how
it.
his ex-wife was like crazy. And then there was,
yeah,
like,
yes.
there was like... I don't know, but I feel like no one ever had any animosity towards Johnny Wright. Like,
Yeah.
even back in the day. Like, I feel like he just kind of like slid from boy band to boy band and like,
Yeah.
yeah, Johnny Wright. But
Yeah.
no one was ever like,
know.
oh, we hate him like we hate Lou Pearlman because I
Maybe it
don't
was like
know,
a mutual
like,
thing when they like
Was he?
left.
I was
he
thinking
more
about it
like
recently.
A tour
He's
manager.
tour manager, I think.
Maybe he was the creative type who invented like the boy band types. You know what I mean? Like you need to have the bad guy, the young one, the
Maybe.
good. Like you know, what I mean? Maybe he built the foundation of what boy
'Cause
bandery is.
To be fair to Johnny, we don't know.
No,
we
of
know
course
very
not.
little.
We skeptical.
And especially, back in the 90s and the 80s with New Kids, there was no internet. There
No.
was no
Yeah.
documentation of any of this.
True.
But I feel like from what we've seen within real life, what Johnny does is he comes in and he goes, okay, this is a band that has talent, it has potential. I've got the juice in the entertainment industry.
Right.
I'm going to book you guys here. I'm going to get you on this show. I'm going to get you in this arena. I can get you dates in Europe or in real
Philippines.
life is in the Philippines, or
Wow.
they were a few weeks ago.
They're there
Wow.
today, yeah. Or a few weeks ago, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Definitely think Johnny has a lot of the connections. I think he probably wasn't as greedy as Lou.
Yeah.
and he knows,
Probably not,
yeah. And he knows the
He
boundaries.
gets them into like the dance classes and the stuff. Like he knows how to promote a boy band,
Right.
Do
Yeah.
the PR stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
maybe
sure.
Lou was just the
Lou
hairy
was
piggy
more
bank.
of the like
Maybe
trying to like get financiers and things like that. I think that's where
Merchandising
Lou was
and all
kind
that
of
stuff.
there.
The
and I
money
feel-
part.
Yes.
Probably.
I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know. I was. It's weird because I was thinking about Johnny Wright recently, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see him connected to all these boy bands, but never have any sort of controversy. So.
No
Yeah, it is
rape
so-
I
allegations, no
guess,
nothing.
I guess that's good that you can also be connected to boy
Yes,
bands
please.
and not be.
Please don't rape them.
Okay, those are allegations.
Rape is a far,
Let's not even talk about that.
Well, I'm just saying that
We
Lou
don't
was
know-
no angel.
We don't know anything for sure.
No, nobody knows.
There's just allegations.
And people will take things to their grave. Honestly,
And
I mean,
literally
there
because
is,
he's now dead. So
yes,
nobody
well,
can
he
confirm.
will. Yeah, I mean, like
but there are other people who know.
with like the Me Too movement, you would hope that people come forward and say something, especially that Lou is dead. I mean, there's no one who's going to be like, I'm going to sue you for defamation. If you need to come forward, any boy band members, we will support you regardless. But I'm just saying that's
Lydia will
allegations. We have
welcome
no
you
idea.
with open arms.
Yes, so it's okay. It's okay. I know Lou hurt you, and but we'll work through this
Lydia
together.
has a shoulder to
They
cry
hurt
if you
people
need her.
financially. The main thing I was reading the Lance Bass biography and how they were so like they had been working for 2 years. They had sold millions of albums. They had done all this merchandise, and his main thing was, I'm going to put up all the money for you now. So look, I'm putting you in this nice apartment, giving you all this dance studio and stuff. But it's all about the repayment.
Yeah,
so
you
like
need to
all
repay
that
me
you need
for
to
that.
repay me. But he never provided anything like how much you actually owed.
Bills,
so then he
receipts.
would just just spend all the money on them. So after 2 years of nonstop touring and all this stuff, they get together on Thanksgiving and bring NSYNC into a room, and they're like, okay, here's a grand check presentation. So Lance is like, okay, great. So he's trying to figure out how much he's thinking. He's like, at least a couple $100,000 for sure, like, because he wanted to be on like the thing. And everybody got a $20,000 check.
For 2 years of your life.
And they would get, I think, $100 a week. Like that they could buy food, stipend for food and stuff like that. So then Lance just like ripped up his check and like threw it out, and then that's where they started suing them from that. So
good.
But yeah, so like, you know what? Just don't be a greedy ass. And
no.
So do you feel that like the Simon Cowells and the Scooter Brauns and these K-pop guys, what was that guy's name?
BTS?
Yeah, Lee Soo-man.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they're
not
the
greedy?
nicer version? They're a nicer version of Lou?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I wonder. First of all, I wonder if they actually knew Lou, any of them.
I'm sure
they did.
Like,
I feel
personally.
like Lou must have paved the road of
so was
don't
Lou,
do
like,
this.
The scapegoat,
you know?
And they were like,
because
oh, God.
Scooter Braun did almost exactly what Lou did, which is like, look at all these kids on the Disney Channel. I'm going to make them recording superstars. You know?
But did he molest any of them?
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
Does he have a hairy man suit? No. No one can replace Lou. He is an enigma.
Nobody should replace Lou.
Okay, no, please don't replace Lou. Yes, no. The evil has died. Let it stay dead. Sorry. Like, this is a very exciting episode for me. Sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut in on your thought. What were you going to say?
I don't remember what I was saying, but no, that's good.
Okay, sorry. Do you want to saying?
Simon Cowell is hairy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's true.
I think Simon Cowell is independently wealthy with other things, so he doesn't need to screw over boy bands, I'm assuming.
I think he had something with Jerry Halliwell, girl band, Spice Girls. I've heard things.
I thought that was Simon Fuller.
There's a different Simon?
There's a different Simon.
Yes.
Who
Oh,
died.
God.
Simon Fuller,
yeah.
He died in a car crash, I believe.
But he was like the producer of American Idol and So You Think You Can Dance and a couple other shows, reality shows.
Right.
X Factor, maybe. Simon Cowell's the talent who was on.
Oh.
And he's the one who put together One Direction because they were all individual members who were on X Factor, right? And
brilliant.
Then he's like, you know what? Come back as a group because there's different categories to compete in.
Didn't Simon put together a few other groups?
I believe he did.
Like a girl group. What are they called?
Is it Girls Aloud or
Fifth Harmony?
Or
wasn't Fifth Harmony on the P. Diddy show?
Maybe.
Was there American?
Oh, not Fifth
There
Harmony?
was a British one.
Is it not Girls Aloud or something? Or
maybe.
I don't know.
Something with Harmony.
There's definitely
Fifth Harmony. No, Fifth Harmony was also created from a TV show.
Yeah.
But it was P. Diddy revived making the band.
Oh, yes, he did, yes.
And he created Fifth Harmony, I think.
Because he also did B2K or whatever they're called.
So he's popularly known for signing successful boy bands such as Westlife, One Direction, and CNCO.
Oh.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who they are either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, well.
All right. Good
anyways,
to know. Good information to know.
In conclusion, thank you, Lou Pearlman, for putting together bands. Do not thank you, Lou Pearlman, for screwing over all these bands.
And other people.
And hurting them.
And other people.
Retirees.
And all these retirees and things like that.
People in the aviation
Don't steal
industry.
money from others.
And Lance Bass, if you're listening, Chinzia is still waiting for that YouTube documentary that you promised.
What happened
Lou.
to that? Dying to see that. I would also like you to go to space. So if you still want to do that, I will help you, sir.
Poor
Oh, my.
Lance.
All right.
On
well,
that note,
thanks for taking a break with us, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
until next time.
I forget my line. Thanks for
I don't
listening.
support Lou Pearlman's evilness. Okay, I just think he's neat. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.